Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Final Fantasy discussion with my good friend Mage Masher 22. We done one of these around about a year ago now where we talked all things Final Fantasy, how we got started in the series, what he liked most, what he liked least, and we touched on a little bit about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy XVI. Obviously back then there really was nothing to touch upon greatly because we didn't really know much about each game, but we're here today to talk a little bit about FF7 Rebirth and then finish it out with some Final Fantasy 16 because we are literally 3 days away from launch, which is very, very exciting. Mage, how are you?
Oh my god,
right
it's so close. It's so close. Oh,
3 days
thanks for having me back. Has it really been a year?
It has, yeah. I checked the video today and it's exactly a year ago.
Wow, you watch your own videos? Wow.
I do, I'm so sad.
It's really sad that, yeah. But yeah, no, it's always good to chat Final Fantasy, and we got some stuff to talk about.
We do. Well, first of all, let's jump into Rebirth because obviously we were mainly the first reason we were here was for 16, but we just got a huge dump load of Final Fantasy in that same week we discussed this. So it's like, okay,
so much, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
How are you feeling, man, about Rebirth?
I'm very excited for it. Very excited. It's not one that I'm thinking about too much just because 16 is so close.
Absolutely.
It's hard to look beyond the very next thing, but the trailer that we saw was incredible, and it showed off a lot more of the game than I thought we were going to get.
Yes.
In terms of like the exploration, at least. So, I'm so hyped for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good start to 2024.
I think you know my answer.
Well, obviously, yeah. You're a bit of an FF7 nut, so
I am.
I imagine you were freaking out a little bit.
I was sat here in my chair, I had my hands together, and I was like, as soon as Jeff Keighley said, this is the finale, and then as soon as the words RPG came out of his mouth, I was like, oh my god, is this it? I wish I caught my initial reaction, because I was just shaking. I was like, I knew we were going to get something Rebirth, but like you said...
absolutely. The way that they were hinting at it with the Twitter posts and the countdown, we knew we were going to get something, but I genuinely didn't think we were going to get a trailer as amazing as that.
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, they are showing... No, I wasn't... When I say they were showing a lot, I didn't mean in terms of like, oh, they're showing too much now, like, but...
Oh, no.
We got a nice meaty chunk of like, this is what you can expect. Like, I can guarantee that like we've not seen half of this game.
We won't have even seen 99.5%.
Also, can I just say
it's going to be huge. Go on.
2 discs. 2 discs.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Remake Part 1 was 2 discs.
Yeah,
but one of them was an installation disc,
right?
And the other one was like the play disc. So the way that they're marketing this makes me think, is it just like 2 full discs?
This is what I'm saying.
We're gonna have to change discs at some point.
Because I've seen a lot of people saying on Twitter, no, it's just an install disc. I'm like, yeah, but that makes no sense to me because, like you say, Remake Part 1 was 2 discs, but that's because one was an installation disc, but they never marketed it as 2 discs.
Yeah, they never made a point to say, oh yeah, it's 2 discs. So it's got to be more substantial than that. And just in terms of the things that they're probably going to have in the game, the first game was just Midgar.
Yeah.
So, And they expanded on it really well. It was huge, but we're talking like leaving into the big open world now. So, areas are going to have to be much bigger.
Yep.
And by the looks of things, they are going to be. Like the scale of some of the areas we saw is quite impressive.
So what would you say from what you've seen so far? Obviously, for you guys watching at home, you can see that I've got the Rebirth trailer playing in the background. In terms of how do you think these maps are going to work out? Because they do look quite big. And I know that one of the developers did say he was he was a big fan of how Horizon did their kind of world, or how they built their world out. What do you think in terms of scale?
I mean, I don't see it being as open world as a Horizon game.
Okay.
But I think maybe it will just be, really, really big zones.
Yeah.
I don't foresee it being open world in that sense where there's like, no loading screens between, the whole world is just rendered. I mean, it'd be cool if it was, kind of like FF15, for example, but I don't know. I would be happy with either. I'm really not bothered. Like, a game doesn't have to be open world for me to be like hype about it. And in fact, a lot of the times open world, it's just kind of done a little bit to death. And you can really get lazy with open world. You can just kind of like copy and paste a bunch of generic terrain and say, oh, look, it's massive. Yeah, it's massive, but it's empty and soulless.
Right, that's exactly what I was gonna say. You can have a lot of open worlds, but there's a lot of them, it's just empty space. There's nothing there, there's nothing to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's unfortunately something 15 did struggle with.
Right,
you know? It was a gorgeous game, it was beautiful, and it had some really cool dungeons hidden around the world, but a lot of it was just empty space with the occasional monster roaming around. So, you know, I'm okay if it's not open world. That's why I really like the approach that 16's taken.
Oh, yeah.
I want more densely packed areas as opposed to just huge, you know, make it as big as possible and say it's open world.
And then find out that there's not really much to do.
And then find out that there's really not much to do in it. So, yeah. So I don't know. I think it's going to be huge. I think the areas, even if they're not open world, they're going to be massive. Even just looking at like the shot we had of Junon, you know.
Oh my god!
Just incredible scale to it, and yeah, chills, serious chills.
I mean, I don't know how many times you've watched that trailer. I don't know if you watched it anymore after you did your reaction.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it a fair few times now.
Did you notice the high wind sitting on top of the?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I kind of assumed it was there anyway, because that's where it is in that
of course
the story. So I wasn't really looking out for it, but yeah, I've definitely noticed it. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, I don't know if you know, Mage, but the theory crafting has already hit the internet. With,
oh god, I bet.
Yeah, what potentially could be going on, what might be going on, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, we've had some, especially the way the trailer kicks off with a pretty shocking scene. Not one that I think anyone expected. Again, I tend to not read into things too much. I like to just be surprised when the final thing comes out. But you know, I have my own personal theories.
Okay, and, I didn't think you was the theory guy, because I know you don't talk too much about theories. But
yeah, it's mostly just stuff from Remake, the first part, you know. Okay. I do believe that there might be, you know, multiple timelines going on.
Yeah.
Zach is going to be involved in some way. We're pretty sure of that. How it's all going to tie together in the end, that's one thing that I just can't even try to predict, because no doubt I'll be wrong. You know, because there's just so many ways they could take it. But all I hope is that the main essence of the original story is intact.
Yes.
I want the same kind of plot beats to happen, maybe in slightly different order or slightly different way, where they kind of maybe bait and switch a few things and make you think it's going to go a different way, but then it doesn't. As long as it has, you know, because it's got to be FF7. I know that some people say, well, no, it's not a remake, it's actually a sequel, which is fine, but you still got to think, well, this is for people that haven't played the original either. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So to deprive them of some of the big events in the original game is just not something I think they would do.
No, because
you know what I mean?
Because then people, say for instance, people who haven't played FF7 and are coming into the remake project, play it for the first time, and then maybe they ask their audience, oh, was this in the original? And then they'd have to be like, no, it wasn't. Like, or there's a certain piece in this remake project that's supposed to be here, but it isn't. So then,
yeah, the thing is, it's got to be accessible for people that have no knowledge of the original FF7, and so they don't really want to complicate things too much, even though, you know, we've already had some pretty significant departures from the original game. But I still think that overall, the plot hasn't really been that different, even with the addition of, you know, the freaking fate and, you know, fighting Sephi and all that stuff. They're still where they were at the end of the original game at this point.
Yes.
They've left Midgar, and you know what I mean? So, but I'm really excited to see what they do, you know?
Of course.
I'm also being surprised, but I still want it to feel like FF7.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's what we're going to get. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I do. I have faith. I have faith. And the thing is, we got to remember as well is this is just the middle chapter of a trilogy, so not all of our questions are going to be answered. They're going to have to leave some things for the final game, whenever that is.
Yeah,
so,
no, there's going to be more questions. For sure.
There definitely will. So, yeah.
Something I think you might be a little bit excited about, actually. I don't know, you might have caught it when you looked at the trailer. But a shot of the party riding their chocobos.
Oh, yes.
If you look down, obviously, in the left-hand side of the screen, there's some command options that say scent and scour. Now, when
I did notice the scent, and yeah.
When I saw this for the first time, I thought, what does that sound like? This sounds a little bit like a Final Fantasy IX minigame called Chocobo Hot and Cold.
I bloody hope there's some sort of like treasure hunting mechanic on the chocobos. That would be fantastic. Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah, I think this game's going to be packed with a lot of things to do. Just from what we've seen,
it's going to be a lot more open than part 1. So, you know, it's probably going to feel very different in a lot of ways. Just in terms of, what you can do and the freedom. Because part 1, like the original Midgar section, is very linear.
Yes.
You know, they did pad it out a little bit and added a little bit of kind of exploration and some extra things, which I'm really glad they did. But once you leave Midgar, there's so much more to the world, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how much they've packed into this second game.
2024 or early 2024.
Yep, it's really not that long off. I was anticipating this kind of release window, especially considering 16 is the summer of this year. I didn't think they were going to release 2 mainline FF games in the same year. That just wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, I was pretty sure when because obviously I was, like yourself, I was following the Twitter posts that they were doing, and when they said they were nailing down a release date, I thought, oh, okay. I was thinking, I really don't think it's going to be December this year.
No.
You need Final Fantasy 16's time to breathe and people to talk about it and whatnot.
Yeah, it deserves its own chance. You know, it's something brand new, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in a minute. But it just wouldn't make any sense for them to cannibalize potential sales or hype by releasing something too soon straight afterwards.
Let's go on to combat, man. I'm excited. Let me just say now, the combat in Remake, I know you're the same, was one of the most satisfying combat systems I think I've played in a game for a very long time.
It was brilliant. It was about as perfect a job as they could have done, mixing more old school menu-based combat with action combat. I thought they nailed it. They really did. A few, kind of problems with the camera, little flaws here and there, but overall, what a fun system it was.
And it's only going to get expanded upon even more because, ladies and gents, Rebirth is going to... They're doing it. Dual text, baby. They're
getting some synergy going. I'm so glad they've implemented that from the DLC with Yuffie and Sonon, because that was a lot of fun. And I was like, come on, let's get some combos going between the characters we know and love, and we've seen a couple of them, so exciting. Freaking Yuffie jumping on Red, and Tifa and Aerith teaming up. It was so good.
Can I just say, man, do you still kind of pinch yourself and go, how is this like, this is surreal? Like
it is very surreal. Yeah, I think because especially FF7 obviously huge for a lot of people, but it's also the fact that everyone was asking for a remake for so long.
Oh my god!
And Square were always like, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're only going to do it, when the time's right, or whatever. And we were waiting for so long, and then they announced it, and then we were still waiting like 5 years.
Yeah, all sorts of development trouble.
Yeah, and it could have gone so very badly, but it turned out fantastic in my opinion. And the fact that we're going to get 3 of these games in seeing this story and characters play out in modern day graphics, if you had shown 10-year-old me this, I just would have passed out.
Yeah, My 6-year-old self is his brain's melted at this point.
It's absolutely crazy.
What a time, man, we get to live in. Where
I mean, it's not just the FF7.
No,
remake,
of course not.
We've seen a lot of fantastic remakes over the years, and some really shit ones too. But
right,
it's great to get a bit of nostalgia. I know some people have issues with the remakes, but it's not like new games aren't being made anymore.
No, of course not. There's a lot of new games I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't quite believe it's real.
All right, so let's before we move on to 16, one final thing. Obviously, take away the trailer that we've seen. What is something that you're looking forward to seeing in Rebirth that maybe they haven't shown yet?
Not playing as Kate Sith. I hope they just say, you know what, we're not gonna put Kate Sith in the game. I know we've seen it in remake. We're not getting Well, in all seriousness, probably. Well, the Gold Saucer.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait for that whole thing. But I'd say the biggest thing I'm looking forward to, and almost kind of dreading in a way, just because of how emotional it might be, is the whole Coral Barrett storyline.
Oh my god!
I don't want to go into too much.
Yeah, let's not spoil it for people. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Spoil anyone who's not played the OG. But like, Barrett has some pretty significant backstory, shall we say? And it's
the emotions are going to fly.
It has potential to be quite impactful. So I think that's probably what I'm looking forward to the most. But also just, exploring the world. And playing as Red. And maybe some other characters. We haven't seen yet.
Obviously, I've seen on the internet, because I do follow this game quite a bit, people saying, oh, they haven't shown off Vincent, they haven't shown off Sid, and I'm like, yes, there's a reason for that. If you think back to the remake trailer, we didn't get a Tifa reveal until pretty much towards the end trailers. They want to save that stuff. They want to save that.
I mean, they've shown off a new character in Red, and obviously we're going to have Yuffie as well.
Yeah.
So that's already 2 more characters than we had in Remake Part 1. And I'm sure we're going to get to play as Sid, Vincent, Kate Sith, and all them. But whether or not they're all going to be in the second game, or it's going to be the third game, I don't know. But we are going to get them.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with still having some surprises for the the actual release. So
you talk about Gold Saucer. Give me my mini games.
Yeah, we want some freaking. I want to get that Mog laid. Yeah, that's what I want to do. In 4K.
Yes, give me all the goofy stuff that was in my original Final Fantasy VII, and I will be happy as Larry.
Give me. I want that battle arena. I want the battle arena, and I want it to be awesome. And
oh my god, yeah.
We've already had a battle arena in Remake Part 1, so. But yeah, that could be really fun. Oh my gosh.
We want snowboarding. Don't at me. We want snowboarding.
I mean, that's got to be in it. They can't not put snowboarding in it.
But if you're listening, I know you're not, but if you're listening, if you're going to do the snowboarding minigame, maybe make it, because... Okay,
make it good. Maybe make it good.
Make it good for a start, but this may be a bit of a spoiler, so you don't want to hear this. When a certain event happens in the original FF7, it kind of is the way it's dealt afterwards. It's like, oh, this really...
It's a tone shift.
Right, yeah.
It's a big tone shift, yep.
This certain event has happened. Oh, we're sad. You know what we're going to do? We'll go snowboarding. Let's snowboard down a mountain.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's a little bit of tonal whiplash.
Because everybody wants to go snowboarding, right? When a tragedy happens, let's be honest.
Yeah, of course. Get some...
Whip your snowboard out.
Get some air and, rip up some powder.
But yeah, I am very, very excited. I know that, once 16 is out, this game is going to start getting its marketing very heavily pushed out there.
Yeah, I believe. in the build up to Christmas and all that, we're gonna get, we're gonna be freaking inundated with Rebirth stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's really all we can talk about Rebirth at the moment, guys. It's about as much as we know. What we've seen from the trailer. But to say that we're both excited would be an understatement.
Oh yeah, it's nice to have something to look forward to in 2024, especially early on in 2024. Because at the moment, apart from that, I can't really think of many releases that we have kind of solid release windows for in 2024 that I'm super excited for. So yeah, it's good.
Right, Mage, are you ready, my friend, to get into the juice, the meat and bones?
Come to me, Ifrit.
Final Fantasy 16. We are 3 days away from launch for this game. It's getting closer and closer, ladies and gents. And to say that we're both excited is a big understatement.
That fucking demo.
Oh my god, mate!
Unreal.
Jesus Christ.
I'm still kind of not over it, and I've actually rewatched the cutscenes of that a few times. I was actually showing it to family members, like, can you believe this is a Final Fantasy game? And you know, it's had a huge impact on me already. Just the 2 first hours of the game, I'm just, what on earth are we in for? It's gonna be incredible.
I am with you. So for any of those watching, when me and Mage did our first Final Fantasy chat, there wasn't, again, we didn't have much to go on with 16. We had a few trailers here and there. But,
yeah, a couple of trailers.
I'm especially excited because, I don't know if you remember, Mage, when we spoke about, when we had our chat last time, when Final Fantasy 15 came out, I was very, very late to that game. At that point, I was kind of just picking up games here and there when I could.
Okay.
So I was very late to 15. Maybe like even a year late to that game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Before I even played it. So for me, it's been a long time coming. I'm actually going to get to experience a mainline Final Fantasy on release. And
that is an FF7, yeah.
That is an FF7, yeah. I don't know about you, mate, but I played the demo, and by the time we get to the flashback in the demo and you play as young Clive, I think it was the interactions with the characters for me. I was sucked in.
Oh yeah. I
was like, this is the one for me. I'm going to enjoy the crap out of this game.
It did such a good job of setting the scene, giving you a lot of questions, but also really diving into, you know, who Clive is and his interactions with the people of his kingdom and Jill and Joshua and you know, his dad, and it's just, there's so much good kind of foundational work there for the rest of the game, and it's not long before you get some serious payoff.
Right.
Like, holy crap, it destroyed me. And again, we're not going to go into spoilers here.
No, of course not.
I really do think, of all the Final Fantasies I've played, this is the game where the opening, really, you do not want it spoiling.
No. No.
It's tremendous stuff. I mean, even if you're not into the gameplay per se, which I know some people won't be, I think the story is going to, you know, really impress a lot of people.
But you touched on a point there. If you're not an action game player and you're not the best at action games, I think, despite that you could still enjoy the game. Sure.
No, I think they've made it pretty damn accessible. A lot of options. The only thing I would say is, because these kind of accessibility options that make the game quote unquote easier for people who aren't into action games, you have to equip accessories, right?
Right. Yep.
I kind of wish that wasn't a thing. Like, just have it an option in a menu so that you don't have to take up any accessory slots.
Yeah, I got you.
It's a strange decision in my mind, but I like that at least they are thinking of people who, you know, aren't super into the Devil May Cries or even just the regular action RPGs, you know, like a Tales series, for example, or Star Ocean. So it is good. It is good that hopefully more people will be able to get into it.
I hope so. I really do hope so. And again, if you're watching this and you're like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, Final Fantasy 16 has a demo, guys. So go download it. Try it out for yourself.
It's obviously it's a PS5 exclusive. So if you've got a PS5, I really do implore you, give it a try. And I think honestly, I'm so glad that it's been received as well as it has been.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
many people have, you know, been really, really impressed by it. And I've seen a lot of comments from people that were like, yeah, I've never played an FF game before, but I'm going to give this one a try because the demo was really damn good.
You love to hear that kind of stuff, though, right?
Yeah,
As a fan
like,
yourself, you're like, oh, that's so
yeah,
good.
as much as, like, you know, we get a lot of members of the existing fan base who are either fully on board with new Final Fantasy games, or the people who are kind of more traditionalist and want the series to kind of stay the same. I don't agree with them, but
yeah.
you know, that's a valid opinion. If that, you know, that's fine. It's nice to see the fan base growing. You know, it's great. Gatekeeping can go fuck itself.
Oh,
Yeah, everyone
absolutely.
should try Final Fantasy, whatever game it is, whatever style of Final Fantasy it is. It's nice that there's so many different kinds, and FF16 is yet another brand new approach that still has the feeling of a Final Fantasy game in a lot of ways, but I think will appeal to a lot more people.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I think that's a win. And, you know, people can complain about it, but at the end of the day, the game's been made. It exists.
It's here.
So
It's coming.
just make your peace with that and either give it a try or just move on. You know?
And again, if you're coming into Final Fantasy for the first time, you do not need to play any of the other entries in the series. They are all standalone.
No, this is the 16th part of an ongoing story, guys.
Yes.
16th part.
But you better start right now. Final Fantasy 1, do it.
Back in 1987, God damn it. This whole story of Clive began in 1987. You need to play... No, obviously, yeah.
No, yeah.
It blows my mind that... I mean, obviously, I'm knowledgeable of the series. I've grown up with it, but...
Yeah.
You know, I bet there are people out there that think, well, you know, there's a lot of games in the series. Do I need to play them?
Yeah, I see it all the time. Where do I start? I hear people saying, where do I start? You start where you want.
You can start where you want, but I think 16 is possibly one of the better ones to start with.
I agree. Yeah.
It's obviously it's the newest, it's the shiniest, and I think the story's going to blow people away, but yeah, just more people playing Final Fantasy. That's what I like to see.
Oh, yes. And we are, like I say, we're 3 days away.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it. It's like, I still remember the, you know, initial reveal trailer back in, what was it, 2020?
Yeah.
And like, feeling at the time like, oh, it might come out soon because, you know, it looks really good. And then we didn't hear anything for a long time, which I was like, oh, man. You know, I hope everything's okay with it.
That sounds like Square, though, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I think they do tend to announce things a bit too early a lot of the time. But at least they weren't kind of drip feeding us the whole time. They just went quiet, which, you know, is a lot less kind of, I don't know. I prefer that approach over to every month we'll get a little snippet of something, but it still takes like 3 years to come out.
Yeah. Do you remember, I don't know, do you remember the first piece of concept art that came out and everyone was like, oh, is this Final Fantasy 16? Like it was the shot of the crystal and the castle in the background. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah, the environmental kind of concept art.
Yeah, and everyone was like, is this Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, I had that as a wallpaper for like 2 years. It was gorgeous.
It was 16.
Yep.
And it was.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Yeah, but
I can't wait to explore the world of Valisthea, and I've played the demo a lot already, and I'm just like, I just need it now.
See, I've been good, Mage. I've played the demo only once.
Okay.
But I have not touched the other demo because I don't want to know about that stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
until I get there.
I've been told that it's not too spoilery, but I would rather, you know, I've had my fill.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am fully on board with this game. So it's so close now, I can wait. I'm excited to play it myself, but you know me, mate, I'm just as excited to see your reactions, because I'm going to be watching you as well. Oh yeah, I mean, you're going to be doing your own videos on it.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a Let's Play.
Once I'm significantly, like, ahead in the game, I will start watching people's Let's Plays of it.
Absolutely.
Just to see how they're finding the game, and you know, because that's a big part of why I love YouTube. Is especially when, you know, a game comes out that I'm really passionate about. It's nice seeing how other people are taking to it, and in fact, the first things I ever watched on YouTube were Japanese videos of Final Fantasy 12. So
oh yes,
it's kind of a tradition at this point for me. So yeah, very, very excited to see how you get on with it and how everyone plays it differently.
And I'm excited that much. I've booked a whole week off work, so expect a lot of videos.
Nice. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah. I've actually, I told you this already, but I've pre-ordered the game twice.
I believe so. Yeah.
I've got it digitally, and I've ordered it from Amazon, but I don't trust Amazon because sometimes they decide that, you know, I'm not going to send you the game on release date. We'll send it to you the day after, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. I've had that in the past.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I've ordered it. I've got it ordered from the Square store, so God knows when they're going to ship it. I keep checking my emails and like, oh, come on, please tell me it's on its way.
Did you go collector's edition, or did you just
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You did?
Every Final Fantasy game that has had a collector's edition, I've had to get it. I can't help myself. It's a problem. It really is a problem, especially from a wallet, because boy, they ain't cheap.
But, they are expensive, for sure.
Yeah, as soon as it arrives, I'm going to do an unboxing.
I was going to say, yeah, please do an unboxing, because I know you get a statue or something, don't you?
Oh, yeah, freaking Ifrit and Phoenix. So it's going to be good. I don't have any fucking space for it, but you know, I still want it.
It'll go somewhere.
Yep. I mean, I've still got the freaking Cloud on his bike in the box.
Right, yeah, of course.
Still. So I just don't have anywhere to display it, sadly, but it's nice knowing that I've got it.
What are you excited about for the game in general, man? What are you...
Weirdly enough, because usually it's, you know, the gameplay, exploration, which I am super hyped for, but after the prologue, like, the story, I need to know what happens.
I was great.
Which is not how I felt about 15.
Yeah.
It's not how I felt about 13. And even 12, even though I've become kind of more appreciative of the story in that game as I've gotten older, I wasn't super invested in the plot in that game either, but 16 has grabbed me by the bollocks, and I just really need to see what happens next.
Amen, brother, because, yeah, like I say, as soon as I was just taking it all in, listening to the dialogue, and I was like, holy shit, do I care about these characters in the first 15 minutes of this game.
Which we have to attribute to, 1, the writing, and 2, the performances.
The acting, oh my god.
Ben Starr has fucking knocked it out of the park.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
Seriously. Like, we all know that, again, not going to spoil it, but that scene, you'll know the scene when you see it. I was like, oh my god, this is next level.
I'm not ashamed to admit this. I had tears in my eyes.
Oh, it was incredibly
I was like,
emotional.
Jesus.
I was kind of more stunned by it all, because there's a lot to take in. But just... and I know, you know, a lot of people have compared it to Game of Thrones, and that is very valid, because that was obviously a huge inspiration for them making the game. But it feels that impactful, you know? Like, actions have consequences, and anything could happen, and that's so exciting.
And here's the thing, that's probably, you know, again, not spoiling, but that scene is probably nothing compared to what other things we're probably going to experience in this game.
I'm sure there's going to be many, many twists and turns and tragedies and triumphs, and I can't believe it's nearly here. Oh my god.
Nearly here.
Yeah.
What else? Well, man, I mean, the combat's... What do you think of the... Oh, yeah, combat. What do you think of the combat? You find it fun?
I really like it.
Yeah,
I really like it. I'd say it's easy to get to grips with the basics, but I think it's going to be one of those systems where to get really good at it, you have to really practice.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's a good system. Like, you can get by, you know, by doing the basic things right and timing your dodges and stuff like that, and learning enemy patterns, but to do it stylishly, to just like wipe the floor with enemies, which is going to be possible.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's going to take some dedication and practice, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot. The only problem I have with it, again, is kind of like the typical action RPG problem with the camera sometimes. Although I must admit, this feels better than Remake's camera.
Oh yeah.
The only problem I have with it is the targeting sometimes. Like, I want to target a specific enemy. If there's a group of them, it can be a little bit tricky because you can click the right stick into like cycle through targets, but sometimes it doesn't go to the one that you really want. That's the only issue I have with it so far.
Yeah, see, it's good that you say that, because you're talking about the combat. Obviously, you say you can if you really put in the practice, you can probably, like you say, wipe the floor with enemies. That's kind of how I play Remake now. Like, I feel like, obviously, I've played that game a billion times.
Yes.
Purely for the joy of the combat, because I fucking love the combat in that game.
Yeah. Well, it's again, like you said, it's a system that you can get by just spamming attacks or whatever, but to overcome some of the boss fights and especially like on hard mode, you have to think about what you're doing. Like when people dismiss these kinds of games as all just button mashing, hack and slash. No. You will get nowhere if you just mash buttons aimlessly. It's not going to happen. And especially with the implementation of like the stagger system in Remake, having to time your attacks perfectly and save up for the right moment to unleash all of the damage at the best moment is, I mean, the boss fights in Remake were the highlight of that game for me, gameplay-wise. They were incredible. So I'm sure Rebirth is going to have even better ones.
We're eating good.
Yeah, can you imagine eventually fighting freaking Ruby Weapon and Emerald and...
Don't.
Jesus. I mean, that's probably going to be the third game, but like...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Holy shit.
So I don't know if you saw Mage yesterday, actually. In fact, when I got in from work, I did see on Twitter that they are going to be doing a day one patch now for 16.
Yes. Yeah, now, they did make a big song and dance about this not having a day one patch, it not needing it, which I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's
it's
great.
Obviously going to be a really polished game. Now, obviously, the demo's come out. They've had some feedback about performance, frame rate, and some little, very small things that need tweaking. So I think the patch is like 300 megabytes.
Yeah, it's
basically
tiny.
Nothing. So, and it's not like you need that patch to play and enjoy the game.
No.
So I don't mind it as much. In future, game developers, please don't ever say, oh yeah, we won't need this, we won't need that, because you don't know what's going to happen.
No, yeah.
You're setting yourself up for a little bit of embarrassment if you do that. So it's a valuable lesson. The devs aren't perfect as much as we enjoy what they make. It's,
and they obviously care, because they very much apologizing over something so tiny.
Yeah, I mean, most games these days will have a day one patch. Tens of gigs big.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just the way gaming is nowadays. And honestly, it doesn't bug me that much nowadays. I'm so used to it. It's better than them releasing a game back in the 90s, and then if it was broke, that's just tough shit. That's how it is.
Right.
Either buy a new one when they reissue it, or you're shit out of luck. So I don't mind it. But the day one patch, I think, is also going to add things like turning off motion blur and things like that. So
yes, I saw that was a complaint.
I think that's a good move. I think it's a good move.
What do you like? What's your opinion on the humans turning into these dominants? Because I've always wondered, for a long time, obviously way before 16, I thought that would be a cool idea, and now it's actually happening.
Are you saying they stole your idea?
They stole my idea. I could have gone to them and said, listen,
god damn it,
what if your protagonist, your heroes, what if they turn into the summons?
I think it's so fucking cool.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to talk about this when I play the game, do my let's play, but it's like every nation has their own nuclear weapon. Right? It's a weapon of mass destruction, as we've seen in the gameplay, the trailers. These things do not fuck around.
No, they don't.
The cool thing is, it's a person.
Right.
It's not a weapon. It's not an inanimate object that you fire off and it shoots lasers or whatever. It's a person. How do they feel about what they're doing? Are they in control? Are they pawns of the crystal? It's such a cool idea, and I can't wait to see them explore it.
And can we just say that it's nice to have summons, icons, whatever you want to call them in Final Fantasy, to kind of be the absolute main focus of a Final Fantasy?
Yeah, I mean, we had, summons were quite a big part of 15 at times. you know, especially, well, again, I don't want to spoil 15, but, you know, they were a big part of the plot.
Yeah.
Not nearly to this extent, though.
No, not at all.
I feel like, you know, this is... it's the war of the icons, you know, in the trailer. This is what it's all about. And, yeah, they look so incredible.
Here we are, 2023, and games look as incredible as this.
Yeah.
Again, going back to kind of what we were talking about in Rebirth, what are you... I mean, for me, personally, the first thing I saw when we kind of got a little bit of an exploration video from the devs showing the world of Final Fantasy 16, this is what you can do, this is... I think what gripped me was the hunt board, because immediately I was like, Final Fantasy 12, baby!
Yep,
We're back.
Yep. I bloody loved it. I mean, the hunts in 12 were one of my favorite parts of that game. I think they kind of overdid it with 15.
Too many.
A lot of the hunts in that game were just kind of generic and copy-paste, but there were some really good ones in that too, don't get me wrong. But if it's more like 12, I can't wait to do them all. I can't wait to go find them and hunt them down and stick them with my big sword. It's going to be great.
Mage, can you imagine what Clive's ultimate weapon could look like?
Oh, and speaking of that, that's not going to be obtainable in your first run of the game either.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw this morning.
Yeah, it's in New Game Plus.
Which is called Final Fantasy mode.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of other modes as well, but so I believe the level cap in the regular playthrough is 50, and then it goes to 100. Yeah, it goes to 100 in New Game Plus, so that's interesting.
Right, okay.
And, you know, the fact that they're going to be basically changing the enemy encounters, making them harder, but also actually changing the enemies that you fight throughout the game is going to be... Oh, I just can't wait to go through that as well. You know, and keeping all the experience and abilities that you've learned through your first playthrough. Oh, man, it's going to be so great.
So, I made a mistake. Well, I say I made a mistake. Going through the demo, I was so engrossed in what was going on, I completely forgot about my abilities and stuff. I didn't upgrade anything because I just forgot.
You didn't get any of them? Okay,
no, I forgot. I was just so engrossed in what I was doing. I was like, oh, shit. And then I started watching other people's playthroughs and seeing how they were reacting. I was like, oh, shit, yeah, I did not touch my abilities at all through that entire demo. Whoops.
Yeah, I mean... a lot of them are fairly basic, but they, you know, I think I got all of them except one. Yeah. And they do give, you know, it's a nice arsenal of moves. Just even like at the very beginning of the game, you know, you have lunges, you have jump attacks, you know, charge up your blade, make it go on fire, and then slam it into the enemies. There's some really cool shit already, and obviously we've seen gameplay from later in the game where there's just all sorts of crazy shit happening, but it looks like there's going to be a really nice progression from fairly simple combat to, oh my god, we are just unbelievable badass killing machines that can shoot fire out of our arse and ice. You know, it's mental. So, you know, I think the demo did a good job of not overwhelming you, and also with the unlockable mode, where it does give you a bunch of late game abilities, which obviously I've not played, but it's nice that they're like, well, yeah, this is what the combat starts out as. You might, you know, if you're worried that it's a little bit basic, try this mode, where we give you a bunch of tools and you can play around with them. So
use them at your disposal. Yeah,
it was just a fucking good demo. Mate. I can't think of a demo I've played in recent years that was that goddamn good.
Yeah, a nice and quite a chunky demo, a 2-hour demo, I think, in total.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cutscenes, of course, a lot of cutscenes.
Yes, that's one thing we will say.
It's the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
and you know what Final Fantasy doesn't have a bunch of cutscenes at the beginning,
right? Yeah, it's
even if it's just dialogue in the older games, it's still story that you have to, you know. You want that story, otherwise everything's just meaningless.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is very cutscene heavy, but they do want you to get to know the characters, the world. They want to. It's basically setting you up. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, yep. And it does it very effectively, in my opinion.
A nice little thing that I liked that they added. I think you touched on it briefly in your demo playthrough, but was the active time lore, which was pretty fun.
What a great system.
Every game needs this.
Every game should have it.
Yeah.
Every game that actually has lore. Like, maybe you don't need it for Crash Bandicoot, but like, it's so good because it, you know, yeah, a lot of games have like encyclopedia systems, right? Where you can go in a menu and then, you know, look up stuff. But this is like seamless. And if someone mentions something in a cutscene, you can just activate it.
Yep.
And chances are there'll be an entry for it, and you can select it, read it, and then carry on with a cutscene.
And here's the good thing about it. I know a lot of people will be like, I know that might turn a lot of people off, but here's the thing: it's a short little paragraph. You're not going to be scrolling through
you're not
like
reading
a ton of
freaking essays about them.
No,
it's short to the point, gives you enough info, enough context. And I am such a huge fan of it. And in the demo, I only really used it once. So when I replay the beginning of the game, I'm gonna use that a lot more.
Yeah, I want to.
I'm gonna hopefully check it throughout the game because I want to deep dive into this so much.
But also, if that might turn you off, and you're like, I don't really want to be pausing in cutscenes, no worries. Game's got you. All this can be accessed later on in the game as well.
Yeah, so if you don't give a fuck, just ignore it.
Just don't bother.
Just watch the cutscene, it's fine.
Yeah, so... This game is probably going to wreck the both of us.
Yeah, I am ready. Just hurt me. Hurt me more. I need it so much. And yeah, just... I'm just so freaking excited, man.
3 days, man. 3 days. We've not got long.
Not long now. We can do it.
This might be a silly question. Are you gonna be recording midnight release? Do you think?
Oh, as soon as I can physically play the damn thing, I'm gonna be playing it.
High five, brother. I'm with you. I'll be there.
It's happening.
Are you going to do face cam for your playthrough?
Well, I did a poll, and I think most people would like that, so I'm probably going to do it.
Yeah, I probably will do face cam. It's just knowing where to place myself, because that's the problem. That's the trouble I was having while I was playing the demo. A lot of things kept popping up on the screen, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of UI, and
where do I put myself?
Yeah, you're always probably going to be covering something, but I think people realize that unless you make yourself absolutely tiny, you're going to be covering something. So, but no, it's probably what I'm going to do. I'll have a mess around with it and see what I think's best. But no, I'm really excited to see your playthrough and others as well.
I'm excited to see yours, man. I'm just your reactions in general. I know this is a big one for you. Like this is your, if we say this is your roots. This is what you like.
Yeah, not every day a new Final Fantasy comes along, especially a brand new one. It's not a sequel, it's not a remake, it's completely new. And I mean, the last one was FF15, and that was 2016. So
Jesus,
a good 7 years.
Oof, here we are again.
Yeah. So, God, 7 years. Shit.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. And I, back then I didn't record that for YouTube when it first came out. I played it first in my own time.
You're
so
right, yeah.
This is big. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to make the most of it.
I think I know your favorite character, Mage, already.
Yeah, you might know. But I'm curious. Who do you think it is?
Oh, I'm going to say Benedicta, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yep, definitely.
Can we just talk about your reaction to that first line in the game? You cock.
Honestly, I love her so much.
Got me,
just from that line.
That tickled me, that did.
Oh. It caught me off guard.
Yeah, I know it did, yeah.
Yeah, I was just, because they're all chatting all serious in that meeting, and then suddenly just, you cock. I was like, dude, this is my game of the fucking century.
Game of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we just talk about that as well? This is going to be the first Final Fantasy game that is rated M as well.
Yeah, and boy, yeah,
does it
the
show?
First 2 hours definitely, yeah, makes sense. Holy crap.
Yeah, for a Final Fantasy that's going to be going very dark for sure. Expect a lot of F-bombs.
There was quite a few already
just in the demo.
Yep. But again, it doesn't it just feels natural. Like that's how. Again, I mean, I'm used to watching things like Game of Thrones, where that's just how they spoke. But it's a new thing for Final Fantasy, of course. We're used to a few curses here or there. Barrett would spew out a few.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, but this is the first freaking mature FF, and again, that's just why it feels so fresh and exciting to me, because it's something they've never done before. So
no, yeah, I think. Well, I don't know about you, Mage, and you'd probably be the same, but obviously we're talking about this. This is before the game comes out, so this will be up at some point before. I think so. Currently, we'll go. This is my top 3 favorite Final Fantasies at the moment. Number 1 is, of course, Final Fantasy VII. I'm going to put remake in there next to it. It's pretty much the same, so I'm going to count those.
That's
fair. Number 2 is will be Final Fantasy VIII. And number 3 is Final Fantasy XII. So they're my top 3 at the moment. The way that Final Fantasy 16 is shaping up, 12, I'm really sorry, but you could potentially get pushed down the ranks.
Yeah. I mean, it's so early days yet. Obviously, we need to play the full game and let it, really solidify in our minds. But the opening, to me, is probably, easily top 3 openings.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say. I'm trying to think what. I mean, it's hard because it's a very different kind of opening to a lot of Final Fantasies.
What we're used to.
Some of them are very light-hearted. Some of them are epic, but I don't think they've ever been as emotionally charged as this one.
No, it just kicks it into high gear, doesn't it? It's just straight away.
Yeah. So, I mean, my favorite Final Fantasy is 9, obviously, which is a very light-hearted medieval game. With very dark themes, of course. Then I'd probably say 10. 10 is my second favorite.
10.
And maybe 12 is my number 3 as well.
Okay.
But it's difficult because I think my number 3 probably changes nearly every day. I think 9 and 10 are my top 2. They will probably always be my top 2. But 3 does change quite a lot. But 12 is fantastic, and if 16 even comes close to 12, then it's done a damn good job.
I would say then, if people are coming into 16 and they really enjoy it, I think if they're going to enjoy this, they would potentially enjoy 12 as well.
I think so, especially the kind of political, kind of medieval sort of. I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics as well. Final Fantasy Tactics did that kind of thing first. That's got an amazing story. So, I'd give the Evil East games a try if you like 16. Just don't expect like Devil May Cry.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. So, but kings and empires and betrayals and backstabbings and
it's all there.
12 has a lot of that.
It is all there. Right, before we wrap up here today, because I can't keep Mage too long. It is Mama Mage's birthday today, so anybody wish Mama Mage happy birthday.
I appreciate it.
Give me your final thoughts, Mage. Before this game releases, before we start doing our Let's Plays, what do you want? What do you want?
I want Final Fantasy 16 to bring in a lot of new people. Yeah. I want it to emotionally devastate me, and I just want it to be a fun time. I don't need it to be Game of the Year. I just want it to be my Game of the Year.
What a good answer.
And Rebirth, it's so awesome to know that once we've had all the joy squeezed out of 16 and we've played it to death, we have something right around the corner that's just going to be as amazing. And I'm sure it will be. So, yeah. It's a good time to be a Final Fantasy fan.
I couldn't agree anymore. It's a great time to be a fan, especially with them pumping out Final Fantasy so close to each other. And from what it seems, this could be a continuous pattern for Square, I think. I think they've got a lot more up their sleeve than what we think, potentially.
I mean, there's rumors, but also we have the other big, series, Dragon Quest, with games in the pipeline. So hopefully we'll get some news on those too.
Yes, please can we have something of Dragon Quest 12, please?
Yeah, I know.
Something.
I know.
So we are very, very close, like I say, to release. But I will touch on something quickly, Mage, before you shoot. I really, really hope for you, personally. Again, you were talking about rumors. We know there's a potential Final Fantasy IX remake out there, maybe, somewhere. But
I don't know if I believe it, but, you know,
if it's true,
it gets announced.
I really hope it's true for you, my friend, because I know that's your favorite game of all time.
It is. It is. I mean, that would be... I mean, you were saying, you know, is it surreal seeing FF7? It would be... I don't know if I would even believe it if it was officially announced for a while.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, this is why I said to you, I hope you get your Final Fantasy IX remake, because the way you would feel about a 9 remake and just seeing it for the first time, that's exactly how I was when I was seeing remake for 7 for the first time. It's just like, Jesus Christ, how is this happening?
Yep.
So I hope
we'll see. We'll see.
I hope it happens for you, man.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, we're going to wrap up here today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We're 3 days away from launch. If you're on the fence, if you have a PlayStation 5, please do check out the demo. If you're unsure, if you've played the demo already and you're really excited about it, we are 3 days away from launch. It's going to be a fun time. A lot of people are going to be playing this game.
Yeah.
If you want to check out some playthroughs, I'm going to be doing a full playthrough on my channel when it launches. Mage will be doing a full playthrough on his channel when it launches. And we're both very, very excited for this one. Mage, for anyone who doesn't know where they can find you, would you like to take the stage, my friend, and let them know where they can find you?
I'm not going to give them my address, but I'll tell them my YouTube channel. MageMasher22. So, I have a lot of Final Fantasy stuff on my channel, as does Jay.
Yeah.
If you get bored and, you know, you're like completely miserable, maybe my channel will remind you that, well, it could be worse.
It could be worse. So check out MageMasher22, ladies and gents.
Check out Jay as well. You're obviously watching this on his channel, so you know who he is, but watch his stuff.
Thanks, guys. Mage, it is always a pleasure, man. I know we don't speak in person that much, but we're always kind of keeping in contact when we can.
Yeah.
Again, I will be...
It's all good, man. Thanks for having me again for a little chat.
Yeah, no problem. Again, I will be checking out your playthrough, because I'm very excited to see your reactions and stuff. Final Fantasy 16, ladies and gents. 3 days to go. We're all hyped. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Mage, again, thank you so much for joining me.
No worries, man.
We'll see you in 3 days, ladies and gents. Take care.
Bye, guys.
See you soon.